Carolina home. Had dreams about the West and started to roam. 6 long months on a dust-covered trail. They say heaven's at the end, but so far it's been hell. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. We were digging and shifting 5 to 5, selling everything we found just to stay alive. Gold flowed free like the whiskey in the bars. Sinning was the big thing, Lord, and Satan was a star. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And blood lined the streets. Men were shot down for the sake of having fun, or just to hear the noise of their 44 guns. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Now my widow, she weeps by my grave. Tears flow free for her man couldn't save. Shot down in cold blood by a gun that carried fame, all for the useless and no good, worthless claim. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Waiting for me there.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, YouTubers and friends, how are all of you doing out there? I hope you all had an awesome Christmas, and I hope Krampus didn't come and take you away. Well, if he came and take you away, you wouldn't be here right now, would you? But tonight, we have a return visit from our friend Shane at Ohio River History, not to be confused, but often is, with the Ohio Relic Hunter. Um, and as you see here by the logo there, I have our beautiful Rose Nose Treasure, also known as one of the Treasure Vixens, joining me as tonight's guest co-host. So without any further to whatever, you all know what I mean. Let's get this party started. Be right back.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night, Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night, Hangout Live. It's Tuesday night, Hangout Live. With your host, Ed Marvin. Tuesday Night Hangout Live is a Flash in Your Pan production.
All right, everybody, welcome back as my guest co-host, Rose. It's always a privilege to have you.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, sis, my pleasure. And Shane, my man, my brother of another mother, it's pleasure having you back here on Tuesday Night Hangout Live. And I know we live a few hours apart from each other, but we really need to collaborate on some beeping or something next year.
You know, I got a couple people that are somewhat close to your area that I've got to go make a visit to see. We'll make it happen this spring or early summer sometime, guaranteed.
There you go. Let me say hi to some of these awesome FlashFam members. Kane, great seeing you. I know you usually leave a comment afterwards. Bacchus, good to see you. Bill, always a pleasure having you in our chat room, my friend. And I know you're always over at DK and Tony's podcast, but thanks for being there also when I was their guest last week. Paul C., good to see you. Hope I see you at the Swank sometime this year, buddy. David Villa, hola, bien amigo. David Alfonsari, Art is in the house. Always good to see you. Jonathan, friend, my friend, I hope to see you one day soon in the mother lode, my man. Glad you're here. Now, here's a guy right here, our friend from Maine, down east detecting and prospecting. Thank you from pulling yourself away from Curse of Oak Island, which is airing right now as we speak, to pop into my live chat. Love you, my friend Bob. I hope you're doing well and had a good Christmas. Grandma Kelly, great seeing you in the live chat. Thank you very much for being here. Moon's over Miami. Glad to see you, buddy. It's always a pleasure. Um, you're in California, right? I don't think you're in Miami, but you're in California. If I'm right, okay. If I'm wrong, sorry. But there's a desert creature. It's a arachnoid, has a funny looking beak. What is it? The desert camel or camel spider or something? It has a really wicked beak. Looks kind of like Terminator-ish. Looks like it could be wicked terrible. Kind of like a scorpion spider mix with a wicked beak. I was me. Here I am. I'm working on houses in Palm Springs. I catch one of those, then I catch black widows and scorpions and other stuff, and put them in an empty fish tank, and I had battles, and that thing would annihilate almost everything I put in there with it. Benzo, bro, how you doing, buddy? B3 Relic Recovery, good to see you, my friend. Hobo Rob, good to see you. But yeah, that creature's like crazy, and it's like something out of sci-fi. It's gnarly. Um, I'll have to search for it sometime and send you a picture on Facebook of it, both of you, so you know what I'm talking about. Cheers, JP Lonzimore, brother. Give our sister, Mrs. JP, a big hug, and why don't you do that to the Bulldogs too? Because you know Rose and I love those Bulldogs.
Sure do.
I love the Bulldogs.
Oh, can't forget Shane either.
They're easy to love.
Yes, they are. They are. What's that? What are you saying? I can't even pronounce that. Bill is an order of animals in the class of arachnoid, known various as camel spiders, wind scorpions, sun spiders. That could very well be it, what I'm thinking of, Bill. Thank you. Thank you.
Also known as what my nightmares are made out of.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, because especially if you have arachnophobia, man. But man, it was great watching them because I'd get down and get into it, and I threw a black widow in there, a big one, and it didn't last long. It didn't last long at all. It just grabbed it and put it into its pointy claws, and I'm sure they put something inside it so the insides kind of dissolve and they could suck it out. But see the jaws going back and forth, sucking out that stuff while the Black Widow just kind of went. And I'm not really one for killing any type of spider because they all have a job to do, like snakes, even poisonous ones. They have a job to do. So
Absolutely. I used to keep reptiles. It was an interesting time in my life. I had this blood python from Southeast Asia, and it was stubby and it was really thick. It wasn't a long snake like other pythons, and it was absolutely crazy. So it would bite and lunge and do all kinds of stuff at the, it was the most crazy animal I've ever had because you couldn't predict what it was going to do. And that was about the time we stopped getting reptiles and spiders. I like chameleons though.
I think geckos are pretty cool too. A friend of mine I used to work with and known for years used to raise geckos. Think they're pretty cool. I just don't have the time for pet, except for cats. It's like feed them,
Cats are so easy.
clean clean their litter box, and hey, take care of yourself, buddy. Go hunt some mice or something, Outdoor Wally, good to see you. Patriot Prospecting, Terry Curry, Can Do Veteran. I also see some of our Aussies in here. Caleb, full of gold, good to see you. Excellent. Excellent. Good to see all of you now. For a second, I thought you froze up there for a second, Shane.
I think I'm okay.
You're okay. Now I know you picked up a used Blue Nemo last year. And you and B. Higgles, our buddy Brian, was having a lot of fun with it. I would love it to be able to get one, but I'm still trying to work out of a hole I told you about earlier. Martin Smith and Thomas Pennyweight, folks, good to see you. But hey, I wouldn't object if anyone would like to donate a Blue Nemo to Flash in Your Pan. I'd greatly appreciate it. Oh, I did get a nice comfy present from my friend Kirk in the Pacific Northwest. Secret Creek Prospecting sent me a nice hoodie. It's gonna keep me nice and toasty on the creek, I'm sure of it. Martin, good to see you, buddy. And Eric Carter, say hi to the boy for us. Oh. Now, how many times have you been able to get out, Shane, with the Blue Nemo?
Oh gosh, I only put out like 2 of the videos. I've still got, I bet I got 60 hours worth of footage underwater yet that I haven't even processed.
Nice. And I'm sure you've gotten used to the buoyancy, have a wetsuit now. Are you using weights with your wetsuit? Okay.
So we started out in just these local swimming holes and lakes around here, which was very bountiful place to go because nobody around here really does that kind of thing. So it was just like easy pickings for the longest time. But I
Mhm.
do have a wetsuit. We went to at the end of summer over Labor Day weekend with a group of us. We went up to Torch Lake in northern Michigan, where that water's crystal clear. It's also ice cold. We froze to death on Labor Day weekend. We froze to death, 64-degree water, and I have a ton of footage from there. But it was a big group of us. It was the first time that I got to dig in really clear water, and it's absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get it down to the Caribbean.
Heck yeah. How long does
Mhm.
you guys were talking about it in the pre-show? It's a battery powered. Is that
Right.
correct? Does
Yeah.
that make it lighter or heavier?
So the machine itself, it's an apparatus with a hose. It's on a flotation device, and you leave it on the surface. You have about 12 foot of hose, I believe. I think that's the limit that you can go on the Nemo. And then you have a mouthpiece, and it through a shoulder harness, it goes, it mounts to you, and then you got your weight belt, of course, because with any kind of a wetsuit or even without, human beings are very buoyant. I have it hard to believe that people drown, because they can't swim, because if they could just relax, they would float. But yeah,
Well,
it's got a
Pam,
battery pack, and the worst thing is when you're down there and that battery pack decides to die. So about every 3 hours, you want to make sure you change that pack because it'll quit on you, and you'll be trying to suck air, and there'll be nothing.
Oh, that's uncomfortable.
they're
Scary.
they do have a reserve kind of tank for it that you could carry on you. It like Keen has a battery operated hookah system, which is a lot bigger than the Nemo. And they also have motorized hookah systems too, where they float in like a inner tube type apparatus. Instead of the Nemo's designed to carry in a backpack that it's provided with multiple batteries. Uh, I unlike I don't have the website right up in front of me, but um, I I know it's a lot lighter than like other um, ones sold through like mining companies like Keen and others. I hear you can pick up some stuff that pool cleaners use or pool maintenance that are about the same thing as the Nemo.
How I came across mine was Mark and Angela from Detecting the Shore, where they were on the list to get the new Nomad. And when they got the Nomad, then they didn't need their extra Nemo. And before and I think we were doing something together on a live stream somewhere. And I just like, hey, would you, like, I don't have a lot of money, but would you sell that to me on like the teenage credit plan? And give me and just tell me what you want for it. So I got it used. I got it very reasonable price. Basically, I don't think they had that many hours on it, and I think I paid $800 for it.
That's a good price. How many batteries?
It came with 2 battery packs, and so yeah, and I sent them like $125 a month for a couple months, and then they finally sent it to me. But at the time, I didn't have any extra cash whatsoever, so but it was
Right.
something that I really wanted. And then once I've started using it, I've gotten my money's worth out of it like tenfold. And you know what? The thing of it is, Ed, you're a good dude. I'll loan it to you if you want to borrow it.
Oh, I'd love to play with it sometime.
It's a blast.
Oh, I bet. And always enjoyed snorkeling, and I'm experienced on a hookah system already through dredging and stuff. Yeah, a lot of times I have thought about pulling the trigger with it, but I don't think my accountant would like that. but but since I have to live with my accountant, I probably best that I don't do it. You know what I
That's good.
mean?
That's good decision making.
Right. I might be blonde, Rose, but I ain't no dummy.
So when you're doing this diving, how deep are you yourself willing to go before you get uncomfortable with it?
So in these lakes, 12 foot is the maximum that we can go with the Nemo. It took a little time to get used to being that deep because once you get out into the lake, once it's really warm, and then all of a sudden it starts getting colder and darker. And if you're not playing with a lot of expensive lighting and stuff like that, it can be a pain. So that 10 to 12 foot range, I'm pretty comfortable with. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about going deeper than that yet. We'll see. We'll see how my adventurous spirit takes me next year.
For sure. Is that because you're scared of monsters, or because you're scared of going fine, or because you're scared of drowning? Like what, as you get deeper, what makes like what's the most uncomfortable part about it?
I mean, I guess if you're not used to it, it's kind of a feeling of dread. I mean, look at it like this. Your visibility declines, right? You can't see as far in front of you. If you're in just hypothetically in a lake in a swimming area, so once you're out that deep, people aren't putting their feet on the ground, so there's vegetation down there. You don't know what's in the vegetation per se. I'm not worried about a fish or a snake per se in Indiana, but you don't know what's there, and it becomes more difficult to do your task. I guess the deeper you go in water, the harder everything becomes.
Yeah.
So it just makes it's just, I guess, until you're comfortable doing it. I really feel like that's the thing. I'm comfortable at that 12-foot mark, but that's as deep as I can go. Who knows? I mean, I'm gonna take actual scuba diving classes this year with our director of security at work. I think I'm going to join up to help with some of the dive and recovery teams because it's free training and I get to go out and learn how to do some things. So I think I'm going to do that and volunteer some time.
Oh, that'd
So
be great. If
we'll
I
see how
felt
that
like
goes.
if I felt like forking out the money for certification and all the equipment, I would definitely hit up some of my personal friends like Jeremy from Exploring with Nug, or Jacob from Chaos Divers, or Adam Brown works a lot with Jeremy. All a bunch of great guys that their whole channels has shifted in a whole new light that are bringing home a lot of people to loved ones, and they're doing a great job cleaning up the environment also.
Offering closure to people that haven't had it for sometimes 20 years is it's insane. It's
Exactly,
insane.
Rose.
And the
Exactly.
education you could get from some of those guys, Shane, I'm sure would be invaluable. Like what a great, like a great group of guys to learn from.
Yeah, there's a group in the county that I work in, and I looked at it as volunteering some time to help with that, but it's absolutely free training. I don't have to pay for anything other than, I think there was one fee that I have to pay for the certification or whatever that is. But for the most part, I get to use gear that's tested and checked every day, and I'll get to learn how to actually do scuba. So I think it's worth it for, and then I don't know how I would feel about finding a body or something like that in the water, like by doing that part of it. I don't know how I would feel. So if that happens as a result, then so be it. But it's just something I think we all want to learn and do more, right? That's part of your human nature, is trying to be better. So if I can learn this, then maybe I can find a way to afford me some of my own scuba gear. And it's just, money's a big thing about it too. Is like just paying to do that is expensive. Scuba diving's not cheap. So
No,
I want to
I've
learn.
looked into getting certified, and then there's the equipment. Because if I did that, I definitely wouldn't want a wetsuit. I'd want to go the dry suit route, and just everything. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. So
Yeah, dry
it's
suits
not.
are expensive. I got like mine's a 5 millimeter wetsuit, and in 65-degree water, I was cold. I couldn't stay in more than an hour.
Is it a full suit or a Farmer John?
No, it's a full suit.
Okay, so you only have 5 mil in the chest, where a Farmer John, you get kind of both best of both worlds. During the summertime, you could have a long sleeve spring suit, or just like uh, Farmer John wearing bibs, and during the colder time, you could combine it and you'll get double in your vital areas and still have the 5 or 6 mil in your extremities. But if you go with type that have like the spring suit top where you have a little bit of legs, then your baby maker areas are keeping warm, your vital areas are keeping warm because you're 10 to 12 mils in those areas over just the 5 or the 6.
Yeah.
Thomas Folks just did a video showing of something. I guess he was pumping water, like warm water, or it was a suit heater.
Oh, yeah, but that's right connected to his dredge.
I gotcha.
Matt Hosper, the uh, prospecting geologist, and uh, our friend Brian Wilder from American Gold Prospectors, and Thomas and several others. They actually have a heater. It attaches to the muffler of their dredge engine, and then water is pumped through it via the pump, and by the time it coils around in it, it's all nice and toasty and stuff. You gotta be careful. Gotta keep your filters clean to it, or you could end up getting scalded because steam hurts. I'm sure someday we'll get Thomas Folks on and we could talk about it more, or even Brian Wilder, or even Matt. But yeah, there's something, but you need a gas-powered pump for a water heater. Unless you make a raft. If you make a raft and you could float it all on a sizable enough raft, you could use a propane water heater as a setup, and every time you have it on, it's pumping water. And I've known guys who's also used those for wetsuit heaters on dredges also.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna venture too much more until I have the money to do so. But what I got right now is enough to keep me busy for a long time, I hope.
Right.
Hopefully I'll find plenty of jewelry and coins and good stuff in the water for a long time to come. But just the idea of getting to learn more is always fun, and I can't wait to learn a little bit more. But I don't think it's going to be my forte. I would rather dig holes and throw magnets and stuff like that too. So.
Mm-hmm. So have you found any cool jewelry doing it thus far? Like, what are some of the cool finds?
Oh my gosh, I got I found a silver sloth. Some 13-year-old girl lost a sloth off her necklace in a lake, and I got to return that. That was
That's
really cool.
Right.
Always, if you can find the owner of something and return it, the feeling's way more gratifying than a pawn shop or just keeping the precious metal. So, word to the wise, if you find something, it's much more fun to return it.
Sure.
Oh, if I could find the owner, by all means, But
it's really funny because I don't remember the name of the lake that we were at, but Brian and I was at this lake, and I found it this day when it was like the second or third time we'd been out, and all of a sudden we just started finding stuff. Once we got out in that 5, 6, 7 foot of water range, it was one find right after the next continual. It was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever because you're not digging a lot of trash. And so we had this big great day, and I got all this footage and everything, and I don't think I've made that video yet. I can't remember, but he went back out to that place a week later because it was right there by his house. It's a couple hours from mine, and this lady and her daughter come down and said, "Hey, seen you out there metal detecting. There wasn't, by chance, you didn't happen to find a sloth in a silver sloth in the water?" And he started cracking up, and he says, "Yeah, my buddy found it. Took about a month. We were at a different lake. They weren't local, and they came down and they met us one day when we were out there, and it was fun to give it back. The look on that little girl's face was priceless."
That's
Heck
cool.
Yeah.
You're a good man. You're a good man. And
I appreciate that.
And going with Brian B. Higgles, you know, that guy is like a go-getter. He did very well at Flash Bash, at the last Flash Bash, you know.
Yeah, Brian is another guy that, he's in his area. He's kind of limited on some of the things he gets to do, and being able to go out and hang out with us was a treat for him at the time. Now he wants to go everywhere, so when we get a chance to go out, we do. He's going with me this summer to. We're both going to St. Croix to visit Gene at We Dig It. We're going to spend a couple weeks down there. I think he's going to stay for a whole month. So,
Nice.
the Caribbean, man, that's the next spot. I mean, it's probably the only real trip I'm going to get to take this year, but it'll be my first time in the Caribbean. So,
well, I hope you find some pirate booty. Arr.
Yeah.
pirate treasure would be awesome.
Are there any sort of restrictions with that? Like, say you do find the mother lode, do you have to tell anybody?
Not there.
Okay.
I know, like off the west coast or the east coast of Florida, there's rules. I know there's rules in North Carolina about, something about, like, I think that there's claims put in on treasure in the water on that side, but I don't think, as far as I know, they've not found any restrictions down there. So if you find it, it's yours. So,
Are you going to be nervous about swimming with fishes like sharks, like dangerous? Has that got you freaked out at all?
no, not in the shallows. I don't mind playing in water that I can see. It's a lot easier. I'm not going to go that far out. I'm not even sure that I'm going to take my stuff with me down there. I might just snorkel down there just to play around. I haven't decided yet, but whatever I do, I'm going to pre-ship my stuff down there so I don't have to take it on a plane.
Yeah. That's smart. It's dangerous bringing it on a plane nowadays.
Yeah, you don't know how it's going to be handled. You don't know if it's going to make it or not.
Carry on.
I sent a shovel down there last year to Gene, and I sent it via United States Postal Service, and it was about $40 for a box that size. If I can pack a few more things in there, I don't need much more weight than my shovel. So I'll pack my shovel, my scoop, 2 detectors, and all my trinkets down there, probably for less than $200. That'll be well worth it.
There you go.
You insure everything when you do
I
it?
will. I mean, when I send out stuff that I give away, a lot of times, like if it's a hand digger or a shovel, something that's less than $100, I don't necessarily insure it. I did send a detector out to BC Treasure Trails that he won, and I did put $100 worth of insurance on that. But most of the time I don't. I just risk it, I guess.
People pee in the rentals. Mitch. Hey, if you're cold, you're cold. Let it rip. Just rinse out your wetsuit really good afterwards. That's all I gotta say.
Wait a minute. Is somebody talking about going in the wetsuit?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
Huh?
I could not go inside my wetsuit. There's no way.
Oh, I bet you if you really had to, you would just be like,
I know
I
that
mean-
you guys joke around about it in chat all the time.
I know it sounds gross, everybody, but I've done it dredging, I've done it surfing. It's no real big deal, you know. But you don't want to poop in your wetsuit, that's for sure.
Man, so the only time that when we were in northern Michigan, uh, man, we made sure that we didn't drink a lot on our way out there. I emptied the bladder because getting in and out is not that fun. So we did
Uh,
about 3 4 hours. We did about 3 hours at a time, and I held it.
do you
I
have a
just
wetsuit liner?
yes,
So you have a rash guard, a full body rash guard?
yep.
Okay, that will help taking on and off your wetsuit, but a lot of it's your feet. I always wear socks. From my surfing days on, I put on my wetsuit with socks, and I used to do it with pantyhoses. Well, not all of them, just the stockings, you know, and they slip right on, and then you put your booties on, and you're all good.
Yeah, and David says it's just water. I get that, but I just can't. I can't imagine relieving myself on myself. I just can't. I can't. I can't. Not yet. We'll see at some point in time, but not yet. I haven't had that situation yet. Wiz is sterile.
Yeah, I think I'd go for it. I think I'd just pee.
I they took
We're
me out of
not in
diapers for a reason.
Georgia, Aaron. The 0 mil wetsuit I use in Georgia in December works great.
Mm.
We
Uh,
never have to. How's that?
in our neck of the woods, 7 mil, especially a Farmer John, you could still be in the water. I know people that are. If MVP is in the house, he'd be in the water right now this time of year. Also, Robert Dupati, another dredging friend of mine from Ohio. That guy's a polar bear, though. He'd be in the water right now. Hey, Practical Ken, good to see you.
What's up, PK?
Me, I have very little body fat, and I get cold a lot easier than I used to. So once I'm cold, you know, my
Yeah.
lips turn purple and I'm shivering way too much. I'm out.
Yeah, Practical Ken was with us at Torch Lake in northern Michigan. He's got one of those X3 Insta360 cameras. I don't know if he posted those videos yet. I know he's been working on them, but his footage was amazing from that.
I'll have to look.
For sure. I can't remember if he's posted it yet or not, but it should be okay. He hasn't yet. It's getting close though. I know he's been working on that video for a while. So, but when
Okay.
those come out, I know Juice, Can You Dig It, and Jesse, Totally Gnarly Treasure have both posted their videos from up there. If you go check those out just to see the area that we hunted. Also, when we were up there, we got a kid got sprayed by a skunk with us, and
Or
dude, it was not funny at all. And the bad part about it is that I've got a box. I've got a box here for that child that's got a full set of metal detecting gear in it, and I haven't sent it yet because
Oh,
he was down there with us at the beach, and his dad had went back to the house for something, and he was just hanging out. He was asking questions. This is what 10-year-old kids do. You know, they're
yeah.
like, "Hey, you ever find anything good? Hey, what's that? Hey, what are you digging? Hey, what are you doing?" And I pulled up some trash, and I said, "This is what you're going to find mostly." And there was some stuff there, and he says, "Well, I'll just go." And I said, "Yeah, but make sure you clean up after yourself." I said, "That's the most important thing is, cleaning up the environment." So he goes over to a trash can and throws the stuff in there. And he goes, "Hey, what's in there?" And he stuck his face forward, and the skunk sprayed him
Oh man.
right in the flipping eyeballs. And yeah, so it was not a good day. Several other people kind of helped out. I got to get, and I don't have all the names right off the top of my head because I got it written. I got it all on the sheet. But Brian, he of course helped out. We had, and then I can't think Kevin Rudd's. I can't think of what Kevin's channel's name. And then we had Mason Merck helped out a little bit, and we've got a kit. You know, a metal detector, a shovel, you know, the whole 9 yards that's going to go up there. But I haven't mailed it yet. The first time I did try to mail it, and the post office told me no for some. They didn't take it. They took it, but then they sent it back. It came back to my door, and then I never tried to send it right after. But
wonder why.
Yeah, little dude's name was Linus. He got blasted in the face. Good to know that skunk spray is not toxic. It will not kill you. We were scared to death because it was in his eyes.
Oh, but man, jeez.
So I got plenty of footage that's going to carry me through the first part of this year, the cold months, and then but the diving and the detecting is just it's always something. We're always finding stuff. It's fun.
It's a word of thought. Keep in the back of your mind while you guys are down in St. Croix. You might have to end up peeing on your foot. If you get, you might. It works.
I've heard this before.
If you step on a sea urchin, I've had to do this multiple times in Mexico. The ammonia in your urine will neutralize the poison of sea urchins and most jellyfish. So
I've heard that before. Hopefully I don't have to.
Hopefully you don't have to either. So, because they're both can be painful, very painful.
I've heard that too.
Just keep that in your mind, and you know, yeah, it isn't like you're getting a golden shower from someone you met the other day. You know, it's coming from your own body. It's not gonna kill you.
I'm gonna remind my wife of that when we go down there, that she may have to pee on my foot.
There you go. Being your wife, you know, if you're into that thing, you know.
Pain is a great motivator too. You know, where like going in your suit's questionable. If you're in a whole bunch of pain, it'd probably be easier to let somebody do it.
I mean, pain changes everything, right? You know, your what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say morals. It's your morals go out the window too, probably. Your shyness might go out the window.
Right.
I don't know. Hopefully I don't have to experience enough pain to where I have to contemplate things that I don't want to do.
Right. Right. I wish that on nobody.
Practical Ken says, if I step on anything in salt water, I will lose my bladder and may ink a bit. So I have a natural defense. Are you part octopus, Ken? Hey, the Canadian hillbilly. Good to see you.
Nice.
So it sounds like you're doing really good for this coming season coming up already.
My first 6 months, that one trip is going to take away most of my extra money that I have put aside for stuff like that. And, you know, so the second 6 months, I might be able to find something else because I have a lot of vacation time. But, you know, you got to save up. But we've been saving for this trip since last April. That's how long I've been putting back for it. You know, times are tough. You got to put your money back, save it where you can. And so the good news is that by the time we get down there, everything will be paid for, and it's not going to be a burden beyond the 2 weeks that we're there. So,
And you're staying at their house, right?
I'm staying.
Hammock
Gene
on the
is a.
beach in between a couple of pine trees.
I wish. Gene's a pastor at a school down there, and the school has a teaching staff that comes from the States. In the summertime, they go home, and we're going to go down there, and we're going to stay in the apartments on the school.
Oh,
I'm
cool,
pretty sure.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
That's neat.
Right on, right on.
So that makes it a little bit more affordable, and
yeah,
I
because
can't wait.
lodging, and at least you're going down there in off season too.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know that in St. Croix, I know the weather temperature down there is the same. It's like 78 to 92 year round. I mean, it doesn't ever change, is what the way that Gene explained it.
Oh,
So
okay. So it isn't like summertime for Florida and go off season be summertime during the hot time, and instead of going down in the winter with the rest of the snowbirds.
he tells me that where they're at as far as the temperature doesn't ever drop below the 70s.
Cool.
So, yeah.
That sounds wonderful, especially right now.
I
Absolutely.
actually have a very good friend with I've known all my childhood, whose mother used to have a barber or a beauty salon on St. Croix. So,
Nice.
yeah, I don't think she's there anymore. So, but, there's no shy prospectors.
I would beg to differ. I bet there is somewhere.
Yeah,
You just don't know it because they're shy.
Hey, Michael. So sounds like you're gonna get out of a lot more with your Blue Nemo, which I can't blame you.
For sure.
And I notice you're really rocking the Nocta now.
Yeah, I've pretty much went that route. I love their products. I'm not a super fan of the new pinpointer yet, but I haven't got to use it enough. But yeah, I'm really comfortable with them. I've been using them since 2017. It's just a matter of being comfortable. I use the other ones too. They're all fine. I just like the Nocta machines for sure.
Well, yeah, you know I swing a Mind Lab Nox 800. I do have a Nocta pinpointer because Garrett Carrot's over $100. I got my waterproof Nocta pinpointer for less than $100. So and it's been doing me been doing great. I have no qualms about it whatsoever. But a friend of mine, Jack Frank, I work with him. He's a good friend of mine. He's been talking about metal detecting and prospecting and stuff for years. But his wife came to me and said, "Hey, Ed, could you help me get Jack a Christmas present, a metal detector for his Christmas present this year?" So I talked to several people I know in the industry. I talked to Relics Recoverus and my friend Andy O'Neill over at We Dig Metal Detecting. And that's where I ended up getting it. Sorry, Elizabeth or Jocelyn and Drew. Sorry, but I went with the Nacro Legend package, and he got all kinds of goodies, pinpointers, treasure bag, all kinds of goodies in this package.
The Legend Pro Pack. I got that.
So it had some other initials in there too, but it was a Pro Pack.
Yeah, it's probably the updated Legend Pro Pack, the new one. It
Yeah.
probably had the new pinpointer with it, honestly. So I
Well,
just recently got that as well. The thing there is that I'm not going to say it's better or worse than anything else, but the price point and it's competitive with the more expensive machines. So I mean, if you can compete with the bigger machines for less money, it's not a bad deal. So he picked a good one.
he didn't pick it. He had
Well, you
no
picked it
idea.
for him.
Right. He had no idea. No idea. And I had it at my house for several weeks, and then I brought it to a job site where his wife came and picked it up. And if anyone was, there could have been someone saying, "What the heck's Jack's wife meeting Ed for? What the hell's going on?" It was all platonic. It was all innocent. I'm not that kind of guy.
I mean, the way you just said that made me feel like it may not have been.
Whatever.
It was innocent, I promise.
Totally innocent, I swear. Hey, Alicia. Hot mess, how are you? Whenever I see her, I kind of think of my daughter. Of course, it isn't Alicia, my daughter, but my daughter's Elise. So
Got to hang out with Miss Alicia
close.
several times. She's an absolute sweetheart. Love hanging out and digging with her. She's great.
Well, she's just down below us in Kentucky, right?
She's about an hour south of me, a little more, but there's no good way to get to her place, right? From my house, it's all back roads and it's slow traveling. But if I was on an interstate, it'd be like a 30-minute drive.
Oh, nice. She's actually going to be on our show in March. So
Absolutely.
keep your eyes open, everybody. We'll be having the hot mess with us talking about what's that stuff she does? Noodling, fishing, and metal detecting.
Yeah, I tell you what, you couldn't ask for a nicer person to hang out with and spend the day with. The 2 times that I've got to hang out with Miss Alicia, we've laughed and carried on all day like little idiots. So it's been good.
Same here, hot mess. Same here. It's gonna be fun. All the torture we'll put you through. Maybe I'll even be lucky enough to have Rose with me that night. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time.
Yeah, Rose and Alicia will get along well. I guarantee it.
I think I've caught some of her
Pardon
lives
me.
when she was like driving home from doing some tournaments.
Back when?
Wow, I would say a while ago. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. But I'll correct myself. No noodling.
That would be a trip. I can't imagine sticking my hand down a catfish's mouth. That
There's
really
no
messes
way.
me up.
No way to do it. No chance. Zero chance.
Yeah, I don't mind catching them on a hook and reel and reeling them in, but if I'm going to be fish down in the water, it's going to be at the end of a nozzle or have a metal detector in my hand. It isn't going to be putting my hand in a dark hole, hoping it isn't a big snapping turtle in that hole and it's a catfish. Nope, ain't gonna happen. And I'm not very one to get very spooked when it comes to being underwater. Um, being a beach from the West Coast and snorkeling and stuff off the islands of California and off the coast of California and surfing and stuff. But I did get spooked once. Night surfing. This was funny, Shane. night surfing at Huntington Beach, California. I had a porpoise scare the living bejeebers out of me. He popped up like 2 foot from me, and I'm just there yapping away with some other friends out in the water, and here comes a porpoise. I'm like, oh, thank God it's a porpoise.
So, well, correct me if I'm wrong. Huntington Beach, California, if you're out in the water and the porpoises aren't there, don't you get great white sightings there?
If you have porpoises in the water, you're safe pretty much from sharks.
Oh, so they know when they're coming. Is that what you're telling me?
Um, a porpoise will actually defend a human being from sharks.
Or what if the shark confuses the human being for a porpoise?
Sharks and porpoises usually can fend themselves off from a shark. It's seals, on the other hand. Seals is more of fresh meat to sharks. But Huntington Beach, I wouldn't worry too much about bigger sharks. That'd be more down south by San Onofre at the old nuclear plant. Because look up great whites in San Onofre on YouTube, and there's footage of guys out surfing with some big sharks, big sharks. But I've never had any problems with sharks. Usually, they only bite you when they mistake you for food. Yes, you're surfing in their hunting area, because a lot of times it is on the surf line, on the break line, but it's not as common as people may think. Yes, it happens, but it's not as common as you might think. So
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would just if there was a report, and I would just think that that's the food that a big shark would eat, and I don't want to be around food that a big shark would eat. I think you're convincing me even more and more to stick near the shallow water.
Like I said, it's in that. Even look at videos, overhead footages of people out in the water in Florida and stuff. Maybe you might not want to watch those videos. You might not want to go in the water at all in St. Croix.
I think we gotta change the topic right now. You're kind of
There's
straying me away from the water.
There's nothing to worry about, nothing to fear but fear itself, and don't live by fear.
In all honesty, if I'm out there and I die by a shark, I guess that's a kind of a cool way to go, right?
Oh, well,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Surf
I'd go in
Punks
my
would
bed
have wrote a
sleeping.
song about you then. Shark
I mean-
attack, shark attack. Ooh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm just kind of playing too. I'm not going to change for sure.
No, you'll be fine. I promise you. I promise you. And if there's dolphins or porpoises around, I guarantee you'll be fine.
Miss
Guarantee it.
Alicia, I am running 1.13, and I had a little bit of issue with it the first time I took it out. So I'm going to sit down and play with it a little bit more before I go back out with it again. I don't know. I don't feel as comfortable with it as I do on my other legend, because I've got 2 of them. They put an update on the legend for the new pinpointer, and it's kind of thrown my game off a little bit. I'm not sure why.
Willie Shiny Gold goes, all right, I've been lurking. I've lurked enough. Lodak, give me an update already. Awesome guest. Okay, host. Just kidding. I'll catch up on this mustard later. Thanks for dropping by, Willie. It's good seeing you as always, buddy. Let me see. Shane, know the difference between a shark fin and a porpoise fin? Yeah, shark fins, their rear tail fin is also vertical, where a porpoise is horizontal, and sharks go like this. Porpoises go like this.
Here, watch this. If I see a fin, I think I'm getting out of the water. How's that?
No,
Right.
it's nothing to worry about. You'll be fine. Just if there's porpoises around you, you'll be fine. Just remember. And don't go out there and act like you're a dead seal or a dying seal or a flat. What happens is when people get attacked, it's because they're making the same noises as a fish in distress or a seal in distress. They're making too much surface noise.
Fair enough. I just know that I'm not going to go out there and act like anything. I just don't want to look like a porpoise. How's that?
I would worry more about looking like a seal than a porpoise. Remember, porpoises can defend you from a shark, where seals won't. Look at Flipper. Flipper has kicked the crap out of many and many of sharks. Many.
The last time I seen an episode of Flipper.
Probably a long, long time ago.
Man, I can't even remember. I know that color TV wasn't that great at the time.
Frank, great to see you. Reaper, Relic Reaper, Metal Detective, good to see you. Another Ohioan in the house. Too bad he lives clear on the east side of the state. So, yeah, where else can we take this? Are you planning on doing any outings this year or events coming up? I know you have this trip you're planning on with B. Higgles, right?
Yep.
To St. Croix, and that's going to take a lot, be like the number one vacation destination.
So I'm saving all my vacation time again. What happened to me this year is that I took a lot of mini trips and did short trips. But this year I'm taking the one big one for 2 weeks, and then I'm going to save my other time. And if something comes up where I have the availability to go, I will. But primarily, it's just going to be play it by ear this year. Once I'm almost done paying for the trip down there. So once that's over with, I'm just going to wait and see what comes up, because every time I plan, it seems like something else comes up in the meantime. And I'm like, oh, I can't go do this because I'm going to go do this. I'm going to try to leave the options open. And then that way, maybe something better, maybe something more fun comes available than signing up for an event. Events are okay. For example, your Flash Bash is not really like an event. It's just like a good weekend, a get together with friends.
A gathering of creators.
An event.
Well, I might as well announce it. Rose and I were talking about it, and we even talked about it a little during pre-show. There will not be a Flash Bash this year in June, but I'll be camping either the weekend of the 14th or the weekend of the 21st of September at Black Sands Campground. It is not an event. I'm going to be there, and you're more than welcome to come join me for that weekend. There is no fee. It's a donation campground. You would have to make your own agreement with the owner of the campground for the weekend. It's all bring your own booze, bring your own food, bring your own bod. But I'm going to be there, no flash bash. So if you want to come join me, Shane knows a bottle dump in the area. B. Higgles found a very expensive ring in the kiddie park in the area. There's gold in the river. And I know Rose and I both like the campground. Greg, it's a good friend of mine, or Gary is a great friend of mine, good friend of mine. He's a prospector. He's a supporter of the channel, and I like supporting his campground. So there it is.
Dude, that sounds like something that I might have more in my cards to do than planning an event. I don't know. I just the personal time getting to spend with everybody like on a weekend like that. You know, if if you're not having fun at one campsite, you walk to the next. If you know, and everybody is always so cool. I actually like that kind of vibe. It's really cool.
I love putting on Flash Bash. I loved it, and everybody was totally awesome, and you get to meet creators that you respect greatly, and yeah, and got to visit with each and every one. It was awesome, but there it is. I'm putting it out there, so. Anyone want to know anything about Flash Bash? There will be no Flash Bash 2024, but I'll be camping around my birthday. I'll let you know for sure the weekend, and it'd be the same place as last year's the last Flash Bash. So there it is.
Good time that weekend for sure.
And yes, bring your own Slash. That's my dog anyway, Jersey Ray. You know Slash is my dog. I'm just lending him to you. What?
There's going to be other meetup and events. If you guys know Can Do Veteran, I think he's going to start talking about Freedom Fest, which is going to be right around that time frame. I should know the dates. I've heard it a million times.
Can Do, if you're still here, but I believe Can Do's Freedom Fest is in May.
Mm-hmm.
And he is already planning on having another great time where it's a lot of creators, a lot like Flash Bash. I had a great time. Only person that wasn't there that I was hoping would be, I won't say any names, Rose.
Oh man, you know what? I wanted to be there.
I know you did. I know you did, but you know, I have to
calling people out on the live. What are you doing, Ed?
Gotta do it sometimes, especially to people you love. You know.
Yeah, no, it's fair. Definitely not going to miss it this time, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think he said he was gonna start talking about it in March. I think they were gonna start talking about it.
Okay. Yeah, I already plan on being there for that. And I want to get down to JP's birthday bash.
AU-versary.
Oh yeah, AU-versary. Right. It's no longer the birthday bash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, JP's. I had the chance to go. My wife and our anniversary falls around the same time, and we were in South Carolina, and we were coming back through, and I can't remember why we didn't stop. We were supposed to stop, and I can't remember why we didn't.
It could very well be, Brad, Rocky Mountain Prospector invite only, but I'm already invited. So I just haven't been able to make it, unfortunately. But this year, I'd like to. I'd like to make it out to the Yuba River too. For
Right,
for
right.
my
That's a
buddy
goal of mine as well.
Tim's Blue Leads outing there.
Ed, I think you're convincing me that I need to make a list of things that I would like to do over the course of the year, and
You
let's
might want
just
to, yes.
or want to do, and just kind of see what comes available to do, how that's going to work out. Because I think planning is kind of sometimes it's overrated. Sometimes it's the only way to get things done the right way. But I don't know. I think I'm going to have to make a list on what I want to do, and then figure out what I can.
There's a lot of things that I love to do, and only so much that I can do. So I can definitely relate to that last statement, Shane. Um, but I am rolling over 40 hours of vacation this year. So that's going to give me 4 weeks of vacation time. So, if I could if I could cash out on a week and use it to pay for another week, or if someone really makes some high bids at some of my auctions, you never know what happens. And Jersey Ray Diggs says Team PG5's going to Garrett Hunt 2024. Yeah, that's in October, right? When is the Garrett Memorial Hunt?
Don't know.
Not sure.
For sure, Ed. I hope you make the Yuba. So do I, Brad, because there's a lot of people that are going there. And JP says, yeah, Shane had an early invite.
Yep. I know I did. I would love to. I wish I'd have made it too. That was the worst part about it.
And that area is a beautiful part of North Carolina too, Shane. And there's
Yeah, I mean,
some,
I know that I was really close when I drove by. I know we really close to JP's area.
yeah, and there's so many people I'd love to meet that will be there. I've met a few of them already, but she's like, I'd love to meet Park Rat Pat and so many cool people and fellow creators. Mr. Gold Panning Dorchi Jacko. Belated Merry Christmas. Happy Krampus. I got coal, so I'm all good.
Mhm. Thomas 907, stay safe.
Take care, Thomas.
Listening while he's plowing snow.
There you go.
I'm
Drive
glad I don't
safe,
got no
bro.
snow.
Well, yeah, he's an AK, so be careful, brother. Thanks for hanging out. Just be careful. Set it up, Shane. Set it up, JP.
I got you. I got you, JP. When I get off here tonight, that's what I'm gonna do. Probably Friday or Saturday will be my two choices. I'll come down and hang out.
If I if I could arrange something where I could ride down with somebody or carpool or something or help drive or something, help with gas and make the expenses a little shyer. Because I don't want to get into a poor me situation, but I'm sure a lot of you know out there and I was talking a little about it to friends that know. The beginning of this year was very bad, and the ending of last year was very bad in many, many, many ways. So it still hurts. So, I want to make it though, JP. I really want to make it. And JP's been such a loyal Flash basher, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great guy, a good friend, good brother of another mother, you know.
His wife Katie is just as cool. Mrs. JP and the Bulldogs, they're a powerhouse duo.
Oh, Katie's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Katie's awesome. Carson prospecting in the house.
Look, Carson, what's kicking?
Another awesome guy right there. Yeah. There's two events that I really, really, really want to make it to. That's the Mother Yuba trip and JP's.
Yeah, I can't argue with hanging out with JP. It's always fun.
Oh yeah.
Never had a bad time with JP. How's that?
Right. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you might stumble away if you can even walk away.
You can do the watermelon crawl.
Right.
I do my best to exhibit self-control in situations where I find that I could be out of control real easy. I have to walk away.
Well, usually except for at Can Do's Freedom Fest, I had my own responsibilities, so I couldn't really go crazy. But at my age, I don't get too wild anymore anyway. It takes
Nothing wrong with that.
Takes a little longer to recuperate, I ain't as young as I once was. 24 is gonna be a bit rough for me to travel to a cost of living not matching my pay. I hear you, and it's going up, but hey, I won't get into that. It ain't that kind of show.
I think it's just been a rough 2023 for a lot of people all around. I think we can all agree on that.
I would agree with you there, Rose. This hoodie's getting hot. Kirk, if you're in here hiding your hoodie you sent me, I opened it up today. I got it today. And he said he got me kind of an extra thick one to keep me warm. It's keeping me warm. I'm going to have to put up my picture here for a second and shed a layer. So.
I didn't think it was that kind of show either.
Da, 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 da. Okay, ladies, ready to be scared? Psych. Oh, gotta pull out my ears or it'll hurt them. Ouch. Carry on, my friends.
I was going to say it's kind of funny. I'm actually kind of chilly down in my basement right now.
You're in the basement?
Mm-hmm.
Your basement has windows?
Yeah, the front half of the basement does.
I got you. So you're like a three-sided house that's in...
Mm-hmm. I'm on a hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've only got one window in my... Well, actually, I do got windows in my basement, I guess. But they're very small. They're like crawl space windows.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Ed got stripped pretty quick.
You feel better? I don't think you can hear us yet.
Nah, I don't know. He's putting his ears back in.
Yeah. All right. I'm back.
So, it's been a while, and I don't know if we can remember everything, but have you found any of your bucket list items recently?
Since the last time.
Yeah.
Um, Man, you know what? The last time I was in here, I'm trying to think. I probably haven't knocked too many off the list.
I know
The
it's hard to recall sometimes. It's hard to remember it.
Have you
Yeah, because
found a
I'm
Morgan
trying to
yet?
remember the last time I was in here on the show, it was with Nick, and that's been a couple of years ago. So I think.
Yeah, it's been a while. I thought we had you on by yourself once before too.
Yeah, probably. I know I helped you host with Tim and Kathy. That was
Right?
recently.
Yeah.
But as far as bucket list items go, none of the major ones have come off the list. But I keep finding like the 2 cent coin. I got another one of those. I got a really nice one this last time. There's a lot of things that have come off the list. This last year, I focused more on. I was in gold mode. I was trying to find jewelry. That's what I spent most of my time doing, was trying to find a lot of different things. I chase history all the time, so I took some time this last year to work on just the more common items and seeing if I could find some really neat jewelry. I've been looking for a class ring or something, stuff like that. But my high end items, the only one that I found since I've been on here was when I was in upstate New York last November. I got my first British halfpenny from the 1700s. That was my
Wow.
first 1700s coin. Other than that, I don't think I've really knocked much off.
So no Trime yet?
No Trime. I did get the 3 cent nickel from a Coinstar here recently. I thought that was kind of cool. I that was unexpected. I found it was a peso, another one of those two-tone coins. I couldn't tell you what kind it was, and a 3 cent nickel. It was 1881. I found it in a stupid Coinstar. It was a $20
cool.
coin.
Nice.
So crazy.
Nice. I have yet to find anything in a Coinstar. I look
Oh my
and look
gosh.
and look and have never found anything yet.
You would not, I mean, you just wouldn't. Everybody is really looking now. You've just kind of got to wait for people to walk away. So if you want to like hang out in the line in Walmart a little bit extra long and watch people that are using it.
I think it might just be my demographics, where I live, compared to like Columbus or Cincinnati or Cleveland or even Toledo. I live in a pretty rural area. So
Yeah, probably not a lot of people cashing in change. I'll tell you the other one that's
and if they do, they just go to their bank.
right. Like you're supposed to really do, and you don't pay fees that way. But the other thing is that if you get by the interstate and if you go in through the big truck stops that have the diesel side as well, go and ask them if they ask them to buy all their rejected coins, because they have coin machines on site. If you buy all their rejected coins, they'll hand it to you. All you got to do is be nice to the girl at the gas desk, and the stuff that won't go through their machine, they'll sell you the whole thing of it for a certain amount of money, and then go through it. That I've had a lot of luck doing that as well, because I'm on I-71 and there's several truck stops really close, and that's been one way that I've nailed a bunch of silver coins that way. So hopefully that helps somebody.
There's a thought. Carson, shaka bra. And don't mind me, everybody. I'm having a cigarette. I'll be in view here in a minute.
See if we can match the look.
Hey. Brewers.
Yep.
I still didn't get that email, Jeff.
There's
if you don't want free money, bro, that's okay. But I need that email.
802 South.
I don't need his address. I need I need an email from him so I can send him a gift card.
flashinyourpan@gmail.com. No, I'm just kidding. He said he sent you an email last night.
I'll have to relook then because I didn't see it this morning. But anyway, Jeff, I have not. If not, make sure I get your email address one way or the other.
That was one guy right there I was really looking forward to meeting at Freedom Fest, was Brewers Prospecting. One heck of a guy, one heck of a brother.
Okay, got it. Got it. Let me put it in an email really fast so I don't forget. I don't see you though. Let me check. See, Jeff won a gift card from my for my membership program. He got gifted a membership, and then he won a gift card during the drawing last month, and he wasn't there. I've been trying to hunt him down.
Nice.
Gotta get it written in here really fast. Okay.
Yeah,
got it.
I wish I could really afford being members to more channels.
Man, I tell you what, it's it gets I use the fun thing about it is that I use the membership program. What I make on that, I give back every month. And then if there's anything left over from a little bit of ad revenue that I do get, I always put it towards giveaways. I always put that way the channel doesn't cost me a whole lot. I mean, I still spend money, but this way I'm always giving back to people that support me, and I feel like that's an easy way to do it. Everybody loves Amazon gift cards, and they're not free to send, but you don't have to pay for shipping. You don't have to pay any of that other stuff, and it's easy to get them out. So it's a ton of fun. And I know you mentioned earlier, Ed, and we haven't actually hit on that subject yet, but I was gonna mention a little bit more about on Monday nights. Our Monday Digs has reached. We've passed 3 years now of doing it. We added it up the other day. There's over 117 creators that have posted videos with us on Mondays, and we've had over 5,000 videos using that hashtag that are out there on YouTube.
Nice.
We've created our own little niche as far as the search engine goes, and we've helped so many new channels, that are trying to figure things out and grow. That's been the best part is over the course of that time, if somebody has a channel that couldn't figure out how to get their videos out and be seen and whatnot, it's a great boost for people that are just starting out, and it's really helped a ton. This is going to be our 4th full season, and really it's been one of the most fun things that we do. Just making sure you get it organized and lined out, it helps, and just seeing creators grow and pass goals. It's kind of like it's a team effort. We all sit and talk about it, and it's been a lot of fun. I know the I Dig Fridays crew has done really well as well. It just gives us another night to get together in a different way.
I have to commend you on that project though, Shane, because you seem like you were the grandpappy of that type of collaboration, and it has led to the other ones. So,
yeah, I've seen it now in other niches on YouTube.
magnet fishers.
Well, I don't dissuade anybody from Monday Digs. If you want to come on there, if you're in as long as you're primarily a treasure hunter of sorts, anybody can jump in. Right now, I've only got one magnet fisher on there right now, and that's Venture to Low. Callow's on there, but I put it down as metal detecting, magnet fishing, and gold prospecting because we've had all three.
Right.
And I lost my tab.
I do too, Brewer. You know, I do too. You know, I'm sure glad her husband don't mind us saying that.
Yeah. You know, he's been hanging out more on some of the live streams that I've been hanging out at on certain nights of the week. Mike might actually pop in now.
Well, I've seen him sitting right there next to you on several when I'm in there lurking. And good show the other night. Was supposed to be a ladies' night, Jeff. Good show. I was lurking. I don't remember if I commented, but, you know, sometimes all I do is lurk because I'm multitasking. So,
You know what the best thing about being on the way your live stream set up, Ed, is that the way that it pins our camera down, my face looks a lot more narrow than it normally would.
I could blow you up if you wanted me to change
No,
that.
I'm just saying I kind of like that look. I feel like I'm a stubby, you know. This way it makes me feel a little thinner and a little longer.
Right. She looks like a pretty sixth grader. Who you talking about, David?
Talking about Rose.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about a sixth grader, but
I mean, that's about the best compliment ever, right? Rose, you look like you're 12.
20,
Well,
21, Rose. That way I don't sound like a totally perverted old man. I might be sick and twisted, but
Here we go off the rails again.
hey, when we take a left turn here at Flash in Your Pan, we take a left turn. She doesn't drink like she's 12, right? I hear ya. I hear you, JP.
that's fair.
Man, I got to be able to consume that alcohol, though. That's a good thing. Being the last one standing is a good thing too.
Yeah, I say to each their own.
No, yeah. I'll just sit back and K-Bay, do my own thing, and watch all you guys drink and enjoy what I get to enjoy what you guys are drinking. As many of you, some of you know, and others of you don't, I'm not a big drinker. I have my reasons, but hey, to each their own, you know. To each their own. That's right. Charts. Now, what would you love to find this year?
My goal every year, it's going to be the same. There's small victories, right? I still haven't found an SLQ quarter or a barber quarter. I haven't found any of the older quarters. I've got the Walking Liberty half that I found, but I'm digging low tones. I'm looking for gold coins. I think that's kind of like the grandpappy of them all of coins, if you can find a gold one.
Right.
So I'm just going to set my goal at that. It's not that I'm not going to dig all them other signals too, but I'm definitely looking for a gold coin.
Well, I know not long ago DK found a gold coin and Tony found a gold coin. And hey, that'd be like finding better than finding. Well, I kind of have a mixed feeling about that because a gold nugget, a sizable gold nugget, or even a gold nugget, period, a picker, no one lost it. No one has ever seen it. It was placed there by creation and Mother Nature for you to find. Now, a gold coin, on the other hand, I wouldn't throw it back, that's for sure. You know,
Mhm.
and a gold coin's value is far superior than just the gold value in it. It's also the historic value, the numismatic value of that coin. And but you never know. You're gonna be in pirate territory coming up
Yeah, I'm
before you
gonna.
know it. So
You know, that's gonna be the thing. I'm just gonna. I'm looking for gold all year. I think that's gonna be what I focus on. I'm gonna see how many gold pieces I can find this year, whether it be rings, earrings, necklaces. I'm just gonna look for gold this year. How's that?
okay, now what would you do with that gold if you can't find the rightful owner of it? Do you
I've
smelt it
got.
down to a button or a bar or
I have no idea. Every piece of gold that I've ever found, I still have in my safe. Um, I the this I've got a gold I've got a gold wedding ring that was made. The jeweler's stamp was from 1960. I found it. All the local property owners that were next to there, I haven't been able to find it. It's got 6 diamonds in it, totaling over a half carat of total weight. 14 karat gold. I had it appraised at like $1,500, and I'm holding on to it because well, someday it'll probably get sold, or at some point soon, probably, since it was made in 1960, the owner may not be alive, but I still haven't, let go of that piece yet. I hold on to it. I've got a collection of things, as you can kind of see behind me, that I've got. I don't let go of anything. I'm a hoarder of treasure hunting, right? Everything I find, I want to keep a hold of. But if I, like I said, a lot of times you're not going to find who owns things. That's why a class ring's so high on my list as well, because there's the opportunity to find the owner.
right?
Um, but yeah, I've still got. I bet I've got in my safe over there. I bet I got a couple $5,000 worth of treasure that I won't part with. So
Nice, nice.
you never know. There might come a rainy day and I need it for something, and then my wife can go, hey, well, at least going, treasure hunting saved the, being late on a car payment or something at some point. I
Right.
don't know, but until I need it, I'm not spending it. How's that?
Oh, there you go. It sounds good. Sounds good. Now, we might have asked you this in the past. If there were no rules, uh, price was no object, you didn't have a ceiling on price or anything. You could do it anywhere, Gettysburg, wherever, whatever. Where would be your number one destination to do, since you're mostly a detectorist, to go detecting?
The vaults of Fort Knox, Kentucky.
There's no gold there. Gee
Sure, there
whiz.
is.
No, there's no gold
Oh,
there.
well, I would have to probably steal it from there. There better be gold in there. That's all I gotta say. No, that's the sarcastic answer. We've talked about this, at great lengths of, like, other places that we'd like to go. Some of the historical places in Spain where a lot of the the early pirate treasure came from. That would be really cool. Of course, some of the older places in England, but I guarantee you there's probably some places in China or somewhere like that that's got currency that's been lost, that's thousands of years old as well. I can't put a number one place. It depends on what I necessarily want to find. But I think there's history everywhere. I think that's why our community is so big, because people, you can watch somebody over, in Northeast Africa. You can be looking for Egyptian treasure, or uh, I don't know. Turkey would be another great place. So many great civilizations that built on top of one another in the country of Turkey,
Yeah,
Eastern
wasn't
Europe,
Tim
Italy,
Sims?
Greece. Shit, I could go on forever about places that I'd like to go.
Well, yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff in like detectorist websites or chat rooms and stuff where they're like, well, the East Coast land is older. No, it's not. Like LA was founded, what, Carson, 1700s. Los Angeles was founded, and it's about as old as the United States. And then Florida, the oldest, pretty much the oldest city in America is St. Augustine, Florida.
Yep.
If LA has to be really close to that. Um, then before that, we had Copper Age people here in the Midwest making utensils and weapons out of copper, and that was traded on a global scale even. Um, then the Aztecs and the Incas and stuff like that have been working silver and gold for eons. So there's stuff to find everywhere,
I think
everywhere.
people focus on the East Coast because it's so heavily populated, and the Revolutionary War was fought primarily on those ports.
True.
I think that's why the old and most settlers that came to this country came in through that side. So some people migrated, but there's been people all over the continent for thousands of years. We know that. So, but I think I think you've got the better opportunities to find things on the East Coast. Also, there's a better opportunity to find more trash too. So
Right. But the problem out here is everything's private.
Mhm.
So it's not like we have any BLM land we could go out and detect on like you can out west. Um,
private permissions are, yeah, where we're at is the best thing. I mean, there is, if you do your research, and you can research fairly well, you do stumble upon some, local properties that where it's not a big deal. But, being in the Ohio River Valley like I am, it's generally primary. It's generally private permissions. The farmers is who you've got to be nice to, because the ones that own hundreds of acres, because you can get out
oh,
there in the winter and the fall, and search around, and use your research tools to find places that nobody's detected. Trying
and
to find places that nobody's dug is getting very hard.
right, and then they could let you know, oh, there happened to be an old homestead cabin on this portion of the property. Uh, there
Yeah, that's not on a
was
map.
there was an Indian camp on this part of the property. Um, I met a really nice German gentleman when I was on a dig a couple years ago. I didn't dig, I photographed it. I did a couple videos with Greg Shipley, uh, part of the Blue Jackets research group. Um, Anthony Wayne Research Group. They've had an archaeological dig, and they've been pulling up stuff from the War of 1812, old 1700s French musket flints, all kinds of nice trade silver and stuff. I don't want to encroach nowhere near on my friend's archaeological dig, but I do want to get back with them and get in on the digging itself. No cameras, no nothing, just dig. Uh, but I do want to talk to the farmer about dredging the creek. And like Shipley, if I found any artifacts while dredging, that would go back to the property owner, and then they could donate it to the local museum or wherever, where I would just want any of the precious metals like gold that I could recover. But the Indians used to come up that creek and come to shore and go to the trading posts at Fort Laramie, where they've been doing an archaeological dig now for several years, 6 years I think it's been now. Every year they're digging places up, and they've actually found the wall to one of the walls to the fort. Uh, it was really cool. You'll have to check out the video on it. It was pretty cool. Uh,
Yeah, I get lost. I get lost in historical data. I find myself going down rabbit holes of research because, when you're desperate to find something that nobody's touched, you have to read newspaper clippings from the past, and that's not even that easy considering how differently people printed English in the 1800s. It's not the same handwriting as it is today. Of
no.
course, we don't handwrite today, but that's another story. So,
But the
but
tools we have nowadays compared to old days where you would have to go through the library and go through tons and tons of microfiches of articles. Now you could go to the Library of Congress or public libraries and everything's digitized and makes research a whole lot easier on any finger of the treasure hand. But you're you're actually in Kentucky, right?
I live in Kentucky, right on the Ohio River, so the northern border, and I'm about halfway between Louisville and Cincinnati. So I'm about an hour from Ohio.
Okay, so yeah, okay, okay. Now, I've heard some great stories about native artifacts on the Ohio River.
Oh, for real.
Also some pirate booty. There's a legend of a cave used for some notorious pirates along uh, the Ohio River in Indiana. Also, tales of lost silver mines down there too.
Yeah, there's a place not far from here that's an old Indian town. It's called Silver Creek, and the creek that runs through there, the legend of that bountiful silver was found near that place and that's why they pushed the Indians out in the late 1700s, early 1800s. That's one. There's also, and part of that treasure was found. The gentleman in Kentucky that found all the Civil War gold coins.
Mm,
That was this last year in a farm field. They never disclosed that location,
no,
probably because they didn't want treasure hunters, coming out.
well,
But
yeah.
so
Oh,
exactly where I'm at, there is some very. So I've been working for some of these permissions on some of this farmland between where I live and the next town over, and there's heavy underground railroad. There was a free black man in southern Indiana, and I can't give you his name right now because I don't have my paperwork out, but he was in Jefferson County, Indiana, which is right across the river from the next county over. And he was collecting. there was people that were paying good money for these slaves to be brought to Indiana because Kentucky was neutral. So
Right.
smuggling them across the Ohio River. There's supposed to be, a ton of lost gold
I
coins that exist in that, and
I
we
hear
went as
there's a
far as
cave system the natives use that goes under the Ohio River into Kentucky.
I've heard, but I don't know. If I could find it, man, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I would. I
Yeah.
like caving. If I remember right, Rose likes doing a little spelunking herself.
Absolutely. And I've got some great places around me, but they've all been thoroughly explored. But there's the chance of finding something new or finding gold in this area as well off of the Mississippi. So some similar legends of lost gold that you might be able to find, or, Jesse James camped out in certain areas in Missouri and that kind of stuff.
Right. It
So when the
gets
water level got low down there last year, Rose, you're on the Mississippi?
Yeah, I'm very close to it.
So when the water level, I mean, I know that they said that people were finding like lost boats and stuff like that when the drought hit. I seen a lot of videos of people just kind of going through and picking off the shorelines.
Mhm.
Did you get to experience any of that?
No, not really, no. But I mean, it happens. It does happen even multiple times a year. It can go low enough. And Angela and I have looked, in the past
who was
to see
it?
if we can find.
Riley? He found a Union belt buckle right outside of Memphis. From what is that? The pyramid. Is it Cabela's or Bass Pro with the pyramid right off the Mississippi in Memphis?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And he found a really nice Civil War Union belt buckle. What's Riley's name? Whole name? I forget. But Willie, good to see you, buddy. Louie, Indiana Tones, good to see you. Yes. Riley Bryant. Yes, he's also been a guest on Tuesday Night Hangout Live. Thanks, Bill. That kid finds some really cool stuff. I believe that's who found it.
No, I don't know the name.
He does content. He hunts a bit. He's done some collaborations with oh geez, I'm having some brain farts, Rose. They were with us in Nashville during that car recovery. Depths of History.
Britain.
Britain. He's done some collaborations with Brit. He's done some collaborations with a guy, Nugget Noggin, and some others. Yeah, he finds all kinds of shells and stuff like mortar rounds and cannonballs, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, he finds some nice stuff.
I guess the key to that is looking, man. You got to get out and look.
That's right. I wish I had the time to hunt as much as I would like to. Full-time jobs and other irons in the fire can make it hard at times.
For sure.
The dreams of retirement.
Yeah, I'm not far off, and I I'm not going to be one of those guys that sits in my lazy boy chair and gets fat. I want to go out and do stuff and occupy my time. I'll be dirt fishing, I'll be prospecting, and all that. Just need a way to pay for it all because it all takes gas.
Maybe somebody gets lucky, wins the lotto, you know.
That'd be nice.
Gotta be in it to win it.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. Born with the golden horseshoe up his ass. Are you, Bill, are you talking about Riley there? He was a cool guy. Nice guest. Really knows his stuff. He reminds me a little bit of Aqua Jigger, really.
Yeah, there's just all kinds of different. I mean, they say that this hobby really took off during COVID, right? Because people didn't have anything to do. They're looking for solitary activities when they couldn't work. It's definitely going to make life tougher in the future, but just to see how many people it used to be, it felt like before COVID, we all kind of knew everybody that was digging via how they posted and stuff like that. There was always, it just seemed like it was a smaller group, and now you find out about people that are absolutely destroying it out there that you never even heard of. It's really cool.
Well, my problem is so many people just show their goods. Show it all. Show the trash. Because I know from people talking to me, all they see are trimes and silver and Morgans or this and that and Indian heads and really cool artifacts, and which isn't a reality. It's like prospecting channels that show nothing but good nuggets and stuff. Oh, I won't, if I don't find any good gold, I'm not going to make a video. And I've heard that quote many of times. I don't agree with that.
A very fine line, Ed, because if all you show is trash,
Right.
people become disinterested. But if
Yeah.
you don't show trash, people think you're faking it.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there in all fingers that fake it. And the sad truth, truth. But if you don't, because the people get a misconception of what it is, and then they go out and they don't find that Indian head, and all they find are bottle caps and pull tabs and aluminum foil trash, and that's all they find, no matter where they go. I'm one for digging everything, because I'm not just interested in coins, jewelry. I like relics too, and history. So I tend to dig up everything, but I do find tons and tons of trash, which it's got to dig the trash to dig the treasure.
That's the facts. I mean, we figured it out. We were trying to put it like on a spreadsheet. And if you're on a good site that has history on it, and you dig 100 holes, you're going to find 10 reasonably good targets out of that 100 generally. If you're digging, if you're looking for things that are of a lower tone as well. So, you just got to think that 90% of what you dig is always going to be garbage. It's going to be trash. It's going to be, because it just is. That's what's in the ground. You have to be extremely lucky on location, or you have to be in a very good spot. And then just to be good enough to get your coil over something, and be as methodical when you plot an area. There's so many factors that go into it about finding stuff the right way.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you still don't find it.
Yeah. And that's just the way it goes.
hmm It definitely helps if you're willing to, like, if you take those trips, maybe do some magnet fishing along the way or other things in with it, see if you get the content for sure.
I love to throw the magnet. I don't get to do it enough, but I love throwing the
Neither do
magnet.
I, and I have to agree with Rose because she said this comment a couple of times about our rivers and streams in Ohio, but I really don't see it. There's places I go where there's a lot of trash, but I never seem to pull out a lot when I throw my magnet. It's like, what the heck?
It
Yeah.
feels. Go ahead, Rose.
You have to look for the right places and find the right places. And it's typically older places that didn't have trash services or different types of bodies of water. The thin, spread across rivers that are, kind of slow moving most of the time are different than some of the creeks we have. It's just different.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think one of the things is that, what blows me away about magnet fishing is it seems like the state of Michigan is one of the best places ever to go magnet fish because I see more guns, artillery.
Especially around Detroit.
Oh my God. I mean, that's why. I mean, that's not why I go up there. I go up there because I got very good friends in the state of Michigan that magnet fish. But
Yeah.
but if I go up there, I feel like I have a better chance of finding a firearm or finding something like that. But it's amazing what's been just discarded in that state.
Now, speaking of friends up there, is are Sonia and
Tanner?
Tanner and them putting on their thing again on the Detroit River?
So we didn't do that this last time. We went the year before. We was up there, and Jason Vanderwall, Get the Motor City Magnet Fishing, got COVID during the event, and we finished that event off. But we didn't have one up there last year. I do go up there and spend time with Tony, Tanner, and Sonia because they're friends of mine. I like to visit Jason
I
as well.
believe Tanner and Sonia are a couple now in a team. She moved from New York to Michigan.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, I don't know that it's any kind of secret, but yeah, they live in East Lansing, I believe.
From the way their content is now, I don't think it's any real secret, So.
It was something that just wasn't really discussed. How's that? I mean,
Oh no, it isn't like they broadcasted it or anything, but I think anyone that really knows
it was hard
Tanner
to keep a
and
secret. Let's just say that.
his content and Sonia and her content, and she was from New York, and now you always see her in Michigan or somewhere with Tanner.
Look, absolutely. I can't. Sonia, there's hard to find a better person than Sonia. Really,
She's
honestly,
awesome.
There's hard to find nicer people than both of them. I know we say that a lot, but I mean, just I got with Sonia about let's say 8 months ago, and I was like, hey, I know somebody that's in some desperate need of some items, not asking for money. They're not asking for this. And we worked together and sent up a care pack to somebody that was in desperate need of just regular food and household items. And I didn't have to explain the situation. All I told her was that I knew somebody that was in desperate need of some food and a few household items. And she jumped right in and took off. Her and Tanner helped out in a heartbeat. And we put together a nice package for these people, and they were struggling at the time. I just, there are so many good-hearted people that do have a little bit of means to help out. and she is one of them that I can't say enough good things about them. They both treat me so well.
One day, all three of them. There's three people from that area that I would really love to meet up someday and don't have to be a collaboration, don't have to magnafish, they don't have to go panning with me, just hang out, have a coffee with, and just meet. Tanner, Jason, and Sonia are three of those people.
Yeah, and Tanner's the same way. It's so nice that, you know, to most of us are type of people we all have been in most of our lives. We keep to ourselves. We try to do right in this world. And then when you meet a community like what we have here, and then you find people that are just of exceptional character and open their homes to you, you know, it's like the first time you meet somebody. I'd never been spent time with Tanner, but next thing you know, I'm up here invited to come stay at an Airbnb for this event. When we went and did that, you know, I'd never spent the night in their home. You know, they just invited me in, and I don't know, there's something to be said for that. I mean, I just feel like there's so many people that are so much alike in this community that we all kind of end up finding one another, and it's a relief, because most of the people that live in the area that I live are just complete assholes, for lack of a better term. There's nobody, everybody's selfish and inconsiderate. They don't care about nothing but themselves, and it's kind of despicable in a way. I just love the community so much, because I've made so many good friends that so many people I call brother and sister, and it's just, I wish there was more people like that around me here.
Yeah.
My circle of friends are people on YouTube and people I work with. That's it. You know, and if I've met some of the most awesome, greatest people through YouTube. Shoot, I've met you, Shane. I've met Rose, Brewer, JP. I've met Bill. One day I'll meet Jeff. Even if there's no gold in Utah, one day I'll meet him. I'd love to meet Terry Curry and Cass and Practical Ken. Everybody in this chat room I would love to meet, if it's just to say hi.
Yeah.
And if you ever see me in a Lowe's, Walmart, or don't go to Walmart often, but a Lowe's or a Menards or anywhere, because it does happen, say hey.
No, that's the other thing. I'll tell you what, from the community, I can safely have met well over 100 people, and and to this day, I can only name 2 instances that were less than ideal. 2 people out of everybody that I've met that either had some kind of personal issue or vendetta within, or had something that was drama that I didn't need in my life. 2 out of at least 100. That's a low percentage. You would expect a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Very low percentage. You know.
And most every one of them would give you the shirt off their back if you needed it, and that's ideal.
And one guy, Chris died. He's like a son for the most part. First time I met him, I'm dredging at the Swank West property, Shane, and I'm just loading up my dredge and stuff, and he pulls up and he goes, quote, "I know you. You're Ed Marvin." I've watched all your videos. I to this day I told him if you would have had anywhere in that sentence and I'm your number one fan, I would have ended it right there. Whoop. No, but he's ended up becoming a really good friend. I've known him for a good 10 years now, watched his children grow up. You probably, I think you met him at Flash Bash when we were at the Double D.
Okay.
Or not Double D, Rose at the Norris property when Benzo won the treasure chest.
Oh, you're gonna. I'm not the right person to ask. I just GPS there.
No, but
That was the
he,
one with the big field, right? The really, really big field.
yeah, and the island where everyone played at.
Yeah, I think I remember.
But Chris was there. Hey, Chris, Yeti Mountain Trading, good to see you. Good evening. Cass, I know you've been here for a little bit. Good to see you. Welcome back, Thomas. Well, we're 6 minutes into overtime, Shane. I appreciate you taking your valuable time to hang out with us here again at Tuesday Night Hangout Live.
It is always a pleasure to come by, invite anytime, and I'm sure I will make time for you guys.
There might be a time where I may ask you to be a guest co-host again in the future.
Absolutely. I'm usually home on Tuesdays, primarily editing videos. If I get a break of editing videos to hang out in here, if you need somebody, I'll always show up for you.
Right on, brother. And as this year's going, or this season, next week on the 2nd is Tuesday night, Open Line Tuesday. I almost said Tuesday night Hangout Live, of course. Duh. But Open Line Tuesday, and I believe my guest co-host is going to be Rose again for that. We have some great guests lined up for next year. 3 of them are return visits. On the 9th, we have Jerry from California Motherlode Prospectors joining us. We'll have the return visit of Raven Hawk Coins joining us, along with guest co-host Rose and some friends of mine, Shad and Kathleen of the Wandering Buffaloes on the 23rd. And on the 30th, we'll be having Justin D-Nig from Lost River Gold and Gem with guest co-host Rookie Gold Prospector, or Gold is Where You Find It, formerly known as Rookie Gold Prospector. No after party, I'm not feeling well. Thanks for letting me know, Mr. Lodak.
Hope you feel better soon.
Sorry to hear that, brother, and thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the super chat, my friend. I greatly appreciate it, mi amigo. Rose, as always, thank you very much, sister, for
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
being part of the FlashFam and being my guest co-host. All of you out there, thank you very much for joining me here Tuesday nights for the past 6 years, hopefully going on for a lot more. And I definitely hope to see you next week. I hope you all had a very awesome Christmas day, and I hope you all have a safe and Happy New Year. Until then, may you always have a flash in your pan.
You know what he's gonna say next.
You say that so well, Rose. That's right. I hope one day to meet you on the river. Maybe one day too. We'll meet you on the river or in the field or on the bridge. Who knows where? Menards. I don't know. It does happen. Good night, everybody. God bless. But right now, I think we're done and we're out of here. Thank you, Cass, Bill, Shane for joining us, the Canadian Hillbilly, Uncle Beef, Terry Curry, GoPro Unlimited,
Night Cass.
Feel better soon, Mr. Lodak, Brewer Bro, Yeti, Thomas.